Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start our social science class with histories, chapter 2nd, the regional kingdoms of 8th century. This chapter already started by us in our last class, and in last class we already discussed about North India's kingdoms and rulers Muhammad Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori. Now in this class we are going to discuss about the Battle of Tarain, which too much famous in Indian ancient history. The battles of Tarain. In 1911, the armies of Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan clashed at Tarain. If anyone asks you between whom and when the battles of Tarain has happened, then remember the important date 1191. The battle of Tarain first is happened in 1191, and between whose army? Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. Battle of Tarain has happened between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan clashed at Tarain. A place named by Tarain. On that place, this battle is going to be clashed about 80 miles from Delhi. Distance from Delhi is about 80 miles. Muhammad Ghori was defeated in first battle by Prithviraj Chauhan because on that time Prithviraj Chauhan was a most powerful ruler, and Muhammad Ghori didn't know about that Prithviraj Chauhan was too much powerful and he hardly defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan. So Muhammad Ghori wanted to defeat Prithviraj anyhow, because in first battle when he defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan, then on that time he make an intention in his mind, he want to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan anyhow in every condition. So he again collected his men and raised an army, because he know that Prithviraj Chauhan had on that time too much big army, and he know that if he want to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan, then he also want a big army to defeat him. The two armies met once again in 1192. First battle was in 1191, second battle was happened in 1192. This time Muhammad's army was better prepared, because he know that if he want to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan, then he want to perform battally, otherwise again he could defeat in this battle. So Muhammad Ghori was prepared battally on that time, and Prithviraj was defeated and captured. In Battle of Second Tarain, Prithviraj was defeated and captured by Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori didn't stop at this. He defeated Raja Jayachandra in the Battle of Chalwa. After defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, he didn't stop. He started to clash with another kings, Rajput kings and many other kings, and after Prithviraj Chauhan, he started to clash with Jayachandra, and finally he defeated him and in the battle of Chandwar, and he replaced that kingdom. So in this topic we already discussed about Tarain. First battle of Tarain is in 1191 between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. In first battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori was defeated. In first battle, Muhammad Ghori was defeated, and in second battle, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated because Muhammad Ghori's army performed badly. Now we are going to taking our next topic. Now we are going to start our new topic, the tripartite struggle. As the name of tripartite struggle means a struggle whichever fought between three important or most powerful rulers. Like in this struggle, three important most powerful rulers are: first one is the Palas, second one is the Gurjar Prathiyaras, and third one is Rashtrakutas. Because of three rulers struggle, it's known as the tripartite struggle. Kannauj was an important city in North India. If we are going to talk about Kannauj, then this city is have great importance in North India. Its location was such that whoever had Kannauj could control the resources of the entire Ganga Valley. If we are going to talk about Kannauj location, then Kannauj location is like that. It can be controlled. Ganga Valley's all minerals, whatever type of minerals, whatever type of resources are found in there, you can control from that place. Because of that, this place has its own importance, and because of that, many important powerful rulers are going to escape that place. So because of that, they are going to take many type of struggles, many type of wars, many type of battles between them, and they fought many battles for that place. Since the 8th century, the Palas, the Gurjar Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas were engaged in tripartite struggle to control Kannauj. Palas also want to take their ruler on Kannauj, and Gurjar Pratihara also want to gain rule on Kannauj, and Rashtrakuta also want to gain this rule on Kannauj. So because of that, they are engaged from 8th century to taking control on Kannauj. After that, the Palas. The Pala dynasty was founded by Gopala. If anyone asks you, Pala dynasty was founded by whom? Then Pala dynasty was founded by Gopala, which is capital at the Pataliputra. Means capital of Pala dynasty was the Pataliputra. They ruled the present day states Bihar, that state known as in present like name with Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. That place ruled by Pala dynasty, then places Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. Gopala and his son Dharampala expanded the kingdom. Gopala, founder of Pala dynasty, and his son Dharampala both tried to expand his kingdom much more in complete whole of the India. Devapala was another powerful ruler. After Gopala and Dharampala, Devapala was also another powerful ruler of North India. They were followers of Buddhism. All Pala dynasty's rulers were followers of Buddhism, so they built stupas and monasteries. Again, we are going to revise the tripartite struggle. If we are going to talk about tripartite struggle, it's between three important powerful rulers. First one is Palas, second one is Gurjar Pratiharas, and third one is Rashtrakuta. If anyone asks you between whom tripartite struggle is happened, then you can say easily Palas, Gurjar Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. But why? Because Kannauj was an important city in North India. Because of its location, because whenever you are at Kannauj, you can control all over the Ganga Valley, and Ganga Valley is the region which is full of the resources, full of the minerals, and many much more things are available at that place. So many kings like Palas, Gurjar Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas want to control on it. So they take battles and wars between that type of kings and rulers. After that, the Pala dynasty was founded by Gopala with his capital Pataliputra, and Gopala's son Dharampala was expanded this kingdom, and Devapala was another powerful ruler. And if we are going to talk about Pala dynasty, and they are followers of Buddhism, and they built many type of stupas and monasteries. Now we will take another topic. Our new topic is the Gurjar Pratiharas. In this topic, we will discuss about Gurjar Pratiharas rulers, how they expand their kingdom, and which place ruled by them. Then the Gurjar Pratiharas, certain parts of present-day states of Rajasthan and Gujarat was under the control of Gurjar Pratiharas. If anyone asks you about Gurjar Pratiharas kingdom or empire, then you can easily say that certain part of Gujarat and Rajasthan was ruled by Gurjar Pratiharas. The most powerful ruler was Bhoja. Who was the most powerful ruler of Gurjar Pratihara? Then the most powerful ruler of Gurjar Pratihara was King Bhoja. He conquered Kannauj. In last topic we already discussed about that tripartite struggle. Three powerful rulers, Gurjar Pratihara, Pala and Rashtrakutas, also want to control on Kannauj, but finally Kannauj was controlled or conquered by King Bhoja and made it his capital. King Bhoja made it his capital as Kannauj. His son Mahendrapala expanded the empire. Whose son? King Bhoja's son Mahendrapala expanded the empire. His successors were weak and could not defend the kingdom from invasions. King Bhoja and Mahendrapala both were powerful rulers. So whenever they are ruling, till then rule is going on well, but after that his successors were weak, so they couldn't defend their kingdom from invasions. And in 1018, Mahmud of Ghazni defeated the Partihara ruler, and soon the dynasty came to end. Now we are going to revise this. The Gurjar Parthiharas, certain parts of Gujarat and Rajasthan was ruled by Gurjar Partihara rulers, and the most powerful ruler was Bhoza, and he conquered Kannauj and made it his capital, and his son Mahendrapala was expanded his empire, and his successor was weak on that time. Because of that, Mahmud of Ghazni take an invasion in 1018, and finally he defeated Partihara rulers, and the dynasty of Partihara rulers came to end. In the next class we will discuss about the Deccan rulers. Thank you.